Welcome to 2 on the 10.
Oh, we back. Now, episode 13.
Yep, I call it the Dan Marino edition.
2 on the 10.
Podcast. How you guys been doing?
Good, good. That's Paul. I'm Mitch.
Greedy Nick.
Greedy.
No, how's you guys' week been?
It's been interesting so far. How about you?
You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, getting ready. I got about 3 weeks out from the Europe trip, so I'm kind of excited.
And how long are you going to be gone for Europe?
That's none of your business. My pool's off limits. I got cameras all over the house. Plus, Greedy, you know, he's watching it. He's probably going out. His girl and him over here, you know, so it's Greedy. You know, making sure.
Oh, the house will be well taken care of.
I'm sure. Just make sure the maid comes through and cleans up all the sheets, Nick.
Yes. So don't worry, we don't use sheets on the bed.
You nasty ass. Hey, so before we get started, we got a couple of shout outs.
Yeah, so again, thank you again to everybody that follows, that supports. And, it's crazy when, you keep hearing it from different directions. And I want to shout out my boy, Ben Fabia. We go way back for the DVC days, Diablo Valley College, all the way to Sac State. He's been tuning into the show. He's like, tell the fellas I said what's up. Keep going, guys. Even throwing a couple ideas. Like one of the things he was dying on, he was like, the best 3 seconds of my life, when he had like 40 smiling, cracking up faces. So that was funny. Appreciate you, Ben. We actually go way back because when I was at Sac, not only did we get into a lot of trouble, party together, etc., we got chased by the dorm security, stuff once, messing up the dorms when he lived in the dorms.
You were a bad kid?
No, I was a, responsible college, adolescent. And so we had me and another boy, Rod, shout out my boy Rod, we had a show on Sac State Radio for a couple of years called the Players Lounge, so yeah, we had it popping, it was a hip hop show. It was back in the day when you used to have to do your own, like, ad libs and your own bleeps, So I remember when Tupac's, double disc came out, All Eyes on Me. I had to know every single one, for Peace of My Love to whatever else. And I remember we used to play a little bit of Brother Lynch, Rest in Piss. And I'd have to beep all that out. And actually Ben used to be our dorm reporter, reporting live from the dorms, with people for the radio show, even though our radio show probably had a reach of about 1 mile. But hey, it was a good experience. And last thing I'll say about this, because some people that know hip hop and stuff, this was about the same time that Ebro, who's like the man over at Hot 97 New York, he was on 102.5 Sacramento doing the traffic reports back in the day.
Okay.
I remember because he used to be like the track is getting nappy over by Arden and stuff. We were like, what the hell is this dude talking about? He used to be with the white Davey D from Louisiana. I remember that. So 102.5, Ebro, look how far he's come, So anyway, just a little memory. Shout out to Ben again. Appreciate the support. Shout out to everybody out there. And also shout out to people on the toilet right now listening,
Oh yeah, those are them diehard listeners.
Yeah, they're the deuce on the tens.
Podcast poopers.
Yep, the deuce on the tens.
Definitely. Well, let's get into it, man. Some weird stuff coming out of Taylor Swift camp. At the concerts, there has been some weird happenings as far as that. Greedy, you want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, just people, stating that they don't remember the show, coming out of the show after like a 3 to 4 hour show, I've heard, and then having amnesia and not even remembering it, and being super emotional, crying, like all kinds of craziness. And
you did that when you came on the Taylor Swift show, right?
yeah, I did. I actually, I don't remember. But
feel my line.
Hey, you set me up, I knock him down, baby.
I'm gonna shake it off.
But yeah, so I mean, Taylor Swift,
awesome.
She is something else. She's like the new age Beatles, like people going crazy, like fainting in her concerts. They like chant and sing. It's kind of weird. It's crazy.
Sound like they got some good drugs going on there. I'm gonna have to check this out. Go to a couple concerts and see if I forget about stuff.
Are you gonna be a Swiftie?
And we talked about Paul liking the younger girls. I mean, he could pick plenty of those.
Oh my! I think, how old is Taylor Swift? Isn't she like 28 now?
I think so.
I'd be a little too old.
Yeah.
Oh, shout!
Hey, can we get a bomb?
I see how you guys.
Oh, we have a bomb.
That's terrible. Hey, if Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers was in the crowd, so
yeah, I seen him. It's crazy. I seen him. He was hanging with his boy. What's the dude? Teller. What's his name? I can't think of the cat's name right now. He was with the dude from Project X and all the what's the movies Teller's in? Shit,
I don't remember.
they're great movies, right? Obviously.
I guess he's friends with Taylor Swift.
Okay, who is
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers?
Rodgers?
No,
Oh,
the Teller guy.
okay, Miles Teller.
Miles
Thank you.
Teller.
Sorry, Miles
Yeah.
Teller.
He's
I mean,
friends
got
with
so
Taylor
many-
Swift.
I mean, he's got so many great B-list movies. I can't remember. No, Project X was one of my favorites he was in, and then he's in the Resurgent, Insurgent, Transformant, whatever that whole series of 100 movies like that. He was in those too, and then he was with the dude from he was also with Paul Rudd from Clueless fame and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sounds like a party,
Exactly. But I mean, think about what do you really think is going on in these concerts? Do you think there's something in the lyrics? You think it's just fan hysteria? I mean, we're talking over hundreds of people,
Yeah, it is.
not just like
One or two.
one or two or 20 cases. We're talking about hundreds of people
And multiple shows too, not just one show. Like,
exactly reporting the same thing. I mean,
Okay, let's okay. I know my opinions on this, but first I'm gonna try and look at it objectively,
okay.
and I'll say this: that the one of the answers that some of the doctors and everything was given is just over sensationalism, like just just being so your senses just overloaded basically to where you forget, you almost pass out. I guess the way I'd look at it would be you see like some people are fangirls. Nick, remember you saw your favorite actor once and you almost fainted, I think.
yeah. Tom
kinda-
Selleck.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, I mean, it's like people hyperventilate, stuff like that. So I mean, maybe that's possible, But with all the funny stuff that goes on in these concerts, I mean, we can't keep. And I'm glad for the people that aren't the coincidence theorists out there, that are actually questioning narratives, that are actually looking to find truth, not just blindly blowing through things. Pause. They are actually at least questioning, because I remember 10, 15 years ago, you could start seeing the MTV Awards. You're like, damn, this is another occult award show. How deep is this going? And people be like, oh, that's crazy. Tinfoil hats, all this other stuff. But when all these different artists do it, when you see the Beyoncés, the Billie Eilishes, the Travis Scotts, the Lady Gagas, the Little Uzi Verts, who's supposed to be short for Lucifer, Trippie Redd, and even Little Uzi Vert, what do you say straight up in his concert? We're all going to hell, whatever. It's already too late and all this stuff. I mean, it can't just all be for sensationalism.
So are you saying Taylor Swift is a witch, or is she practicing witchcraft?
Okay, I'll say this: it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the history of the music industry is to throw witchcraft spells onto music and bless them that way, and to maybe put people in different trances and spells. I'm not going to go all that far, but I'm not going to ignore the history. I mean, it's funny though. All the people like Taylor Swift has that one song on the radio right now, "Anti-Hero" or whatever. And it's funny, but people don't like the first thing when I hear that song and it's playing all the time on the radio station, my work and everything else. The first time I hear that song, I don't even know the song, I don't know the lyrics, but I go to everybody else that was there. Did you hear that? Did you hear what they said? Am I tripping? Did I just hear that? They're like, oh no, I didn't hear anything. It just goes over smoothly to most people. But if you have a little bit of discernment, it just kind of like pokes you on the side. Like I said, ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I wish I was ignorant, but it's like one of her songs. This song that's Anti-Hero that's on the that's on the radio all the time has a verse where she says, what she say? Everybody looks like a sexy baby, and I'm just the monster on the hill. Like,
When you look at that song by Sam Smith that was just big recently.
First of all, fuck him.
And then his performances with like blood and just weird like occult images and just crazy dress up stuff. Like you don't see, that's not like normal stuff that you would normally see in concerts. Even back in the day, it's like they making it into these like presentations almost, or like these, I'll say rituals.
Of course.
More so like when old school days, they used to just put on a good concert. Now they have to put all these visuals into it and get the crowd, like basically overloaded with their senses.
I mean, I'll tell you this too. One of my favorite songs, like when my daughter was really young, we used to share like, certain songs. And for a while, before I was really more open, Rihanna's Umbrella, huge popular song. You had Jay on it, you had Rihanna, and, Jay comes on, good girl turn bad, whatever. And the video has the symbolism of white dress go to black and all this stuff, the triangles and stuff. But then you start listening to words, and that's a song that my daughter would sing the song, Ella, Ella, A, which some people say is a chant, first of all. And two, you start listening to these lyrics. You gotta question, especially when it comes to kids. There's a part of the song that says, you're my entity for infinity. Like, who talks like that? If you love somebody, you ever talk to them like that? Or you're in lust with somebody, do you ever talk to them like that?
But do you think the sensationalism. I mean, just trying to. I mean, we're obviously talking about them, and so maybe they do these off the wall things to get people to talk. I mean, what they say, any publicity is good publicity. So,
Yeah, unless you're talking about Jesus,
I mean,
then all of a sudden you can't talk about it.
right? Well,
It shows you where we're at in the world.
I mean, you're not supposed to be bringing religion into. Well,
No,
technically,
you can bring you
I
actually
mean, unless it's gospel music, you're technically not supposed to be. I mean,
you can talk about the Kabbalah, you could talk about Buddha, you could talk about anything except for Jesus. It's kind of crazy. I mean, again, people are gonna say what they say, think what they think, but I'm not gonna ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ignore it. I mean, again, do what you want to do. At the end of the day, I didn't say do as thou wilt, because f that dude that made that up too. but again, if you're I don't know. I just think educate yourself. Everybody wants to talk about education, but they just want to talk about the system that's programmed down to us. Educate yourself, for truth to find the best way for you and your family.
I got
That's the way I look at it.
So you're saying do your homework and then make your decision.
Yeah, to put yourself and your family in the best position. With your belief systems, intact.
I got you.
And if your belief systems come from the television, if your belief systems come from your celebrities, I don't know what to tell you.
True that. Definitely. I hear you. Speaking of belief and a little bit of controversy there. I mean, did you see Live Golf and the PGA merged today, which was kind of crazy.
Surprises.
Yeah, surprised the heck out of everybody,
including the players.
going out of left field. I mean, they almost had a Live golfer win the Masters this year with would blown things way up. So I think the PGA kind of saw the writing on the wall and said, you know what, instead of fighting against these guys, because they got a boatload of money behind them.
So you're saying big bank take little bank?
Yeah. So might
Shout
as
out to
well,
YG and 2 Chainz.
might as well, join forces, instead of trying to fight against what, could be a rivaling force. I don't know if they would ever take over the PGA, but it definitely would be a rivaling force. I know, Nick, you can speak on this. The commissioner had some words before they even.
Yeah, I mean, when Liv came out and they started taking golfers, he referenced, back to 9/11, and we know, the human rights, atrocities that supposedly go on in Saudi Arabia, and he mentioned those with, the PGA Tour players have never had to apologize for playing in the PGA Tour.
Well, hold on a second. I mean, I know this is probably a little out of context, but didn't that one fuzzy dude, didn't he have to, didn't he have to apologize for talking about eating fried chicken when Tiger won?
Yeah, that is true. So I guess there was one, but yeah,
Take his Confederate flag
Jay
down.
Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA, basically him and a couple of the PGA board members did this whole deal in secret. I guess they were the only 3 from the PGA that really knew much about it. None of the players knew. Most of the players found out this morning, including like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. Like these guys are like the names behind golf.
And real quick, didn't Tiger turn down huge money
From Liv, and now to turn around and like be a slap in the face. And basically, all these guys that took this huge money from Liv are now going to be able to. Part of their deal is that they can get easy entry. After the 2023 season back into the PGA, or have a route to reinstatement, basically. And it's going to be the PGA, Live Golf, and then the DP World Tour, which is the European Tour, all combined into one conglomerate. The Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, which is what the money behind Live Golf, will now basically be behind the conglomerate. The head guy from Live Golf, I believe, is going to be like the commissioner of the new entity, with people from the PGA still running kind of the PGA, but he's going to oversee everything, and he's going to decide where the money goes and how they spend the money. It's definitely, it's just weird because the PGA was so adamant against it, and then it just makes you think, maybe they threw enough money at it that money talks, because I've heard that going forward, he's promised billions in new investment into golf.
Wow.
So through the Saudi money. So, I mean, you're talking billions. I mean, I know the PGA is a big entity itself, but you start throwing B's around.
And you can start getting oil and weapons.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy that they ended up joining forces with.
Get your kids in golf. I'm trying to tell you that's going to be a great payday. We have a good friend of ours, Michael Bergozzo, his daughter.
Oh, the Cambodian dude?
Yeah, Canadian Mike. His daughter is a badass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She
Shout out to Ava.
yeah. She gonna be something to watch. Growing up. But I mean, Tiger Woods' son's coming up. They're like John Daly's son. I mean, these.
I wonder if John Daly's son drinks yet.
How old is he?
I think he might be 16 or 17.
Oh, he drinks.
Yeah, he drinks for sure.
But
I wonder if he looks like a sheepdog like his dad.
I know it's a big controversy now. I think this will blow over. The money that's going to be pouring into golf is going. I think it's going to be a good thing.
I just think a lot of the players are going to feel like they got, lied to, stabbed in the back, whatever, because, if I'm Tiger and I was looking at, some numbers, they were saying like 400 and 500 million for him to come play there. And, like someone like Phil Mickelson supposedly got over 200 million to go play there. They get to keep their money and then 2 years later get to rejoin back the PGA that much richer. I mean, Tiger would have loved to go just for 2 years and play there and make 500 million and be an ambassador. Now that he's basically they're going to be part of one and the same anyway. So.
Right, but Tiger's legacy is bigger than it's bigger than golf. So,
but he stood firm with the PGA and he backed him even though they were throwing all kinds of money at him. And now then for them to just turn around and be like, whoops, yeah, we said all this stuff, but sorry, we're going to join forces with them because they have more money than we'll ever see, and they're going to invest it into our product.
Yeah, but in the end, I mean, Tiger he doesn't need any more money. But in the end, I think that's going to work in his benefit.
Unless he gets divorced again.
I don't think that cat's getting married I mean, if I were him, I'm gun shy right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't pulling the trigger on nothing.
Who y'all telling? Who you telling? I'll just say this too. In my opinion, like the guy from Degrassi said, YOLO.
Right.
You only live once.
Right.
Yeah, but how much money do you need while you're living?
Exactly.
I don't know.
No, but I really think, regardless of where the money's coming from, I think it's going to be great for golf. Because right now,
They consider that sports washing, by the way, regardless of where the money comes from. What if the money came from, like, people that are trafficking children? Would you say the same thing?
I mean,
But in Saudi Arabia, there's
We're
stuff
talking about Wayfair.
stuff in Saudi Arabia, stuff like that goes on and more and worse, and
right. But we're I mean,
human atrocities that they're talking about.
Exactly, but the United States still does business with the Saudi Arabia. We're supposedly a ally of them, even though they turn around and stab us in the back every 5 minutes. But
I will say that we're kind of hypocrites to think that the U.S. doesn't do a lot of the same shit. Sorry, but they get away with stuff, and
but still,
I talk about our government all the time.
I know, but we can't sit up here and say. I get what you're saying, Nick. If it was coming from some organization that was known for sex trafficking,
Yeah.
that's right. I mean, but we're talking about the Saudi government, who the U.S. has turned a blind eye to for years, and they're going to continue to do it. And if that's the case, we might as well just follow suit and take their money along.
like I said, the U.S. kills probably just as many people. Just think all the wars we fought, rightfully so or not, that we went in, especially in the Middle East where the oil's at. We've seen it drop a lot of bombs and send a lot of people over there to die. So,
And we send a lot of people to prison in our own country too,
yeah, that
more
is
than
true.
anybody else in the world.
That is true. We have more prisons in our country than anybody in the world.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you have prison for profit systems.
It's true though. Oh man. Well, let's talk about a little bit more positive. Fastest growing sport in the United States, pickleball.
Pickleball.
Come on, can we clap it up for
Pickleball. Is that what I did in my bedroom last night?
Yeah.
Played a little pickleball.
So when I first heard,
Pause.
I was like pickleball. I was like, what the heck is?
I laughed. I thought it was a joke.
Exactly. I thought it was a joke. I was like, pickleball. What are they doing? I'm thinking somebody has a pickle out there trying to hit a ball.
Pickle Rick?
Like,
I love Picklewick, by the way.
until I kind
Pause.
of looked into it, and it's a cross between tennis and ping pong. And the first time I ever heard it was my mom's husband was going like every week to play pickleball, and I said, "Mom, what the heck is this pickleball?" And
You sure that's not a code word for the strip club? Pickleball.
ball.
Hey, I'm gonna open a strip club called Pickleball Courts. Where you going? I'm going to Pickleball Courts.
You probably get away with it, would probably packed, but
Yeah.
no, fastest growing sport in America. It's been around how long?
Yeah, it's been around since 1965, and just within like the 2021, 22, 23, coincidentally, just right after or during the end of COVID, It's become like the fastest growing sport in the U.S. And they estimate that this year 4.8 million people will participate in pickleball games.
It's gracious.
It's crazy.
I won't be one of them.
You won't be one of them? Come on. You still an athlete?
Yeah, I'm a professional drinker.
Orange juice though, only orange juice. So
Professional orange juice drinker.
I mean, Mitch, you were telling us something about Subway.
Yeah, well, I seem to know about Subway, right?
Yep.
I was at Subway the other day, and
Wasn't sleeping.
yeah, wasn't sleeping. I was woke. And they have a pickleball sandwich.
A pickleball
Yeah, it's
sandwich.
called the Pickleball Club. I literally looked up and I was like,
Hold on, did you see what's in this pickleball club?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look because I would have had to said, I'll take the pickleball club, hold the pickles. That would have been me, seriously. So I wasn't going to do it. But yeah, I guess Andy Roddick's, the sponsor for it. 'Cause I guess there's some pickleball tournament that he was sponsoring, and they're sponsoring it too. Subway's one of the main sponsors. But they have a damn pickleball sandwich now.
That's crazy.
And let me say this: when I heard about this 3 years ago, I was laughing with a couple of my boys. They're like, we're at the bar, and somebody else's friends, all right, we got to go. We're going to play pickleball. And everybody starts laughing, and I'm laughing too. Pickleball, what the hell is this shit, And all I could picture is like old dudes with their socks up to their ankles, with the headband, whatever, and the goggles. And, they're running around like trying to hit some wiffle ball with, I don't know, with like a big ass, like bigger than tennis racket. That's what I picture, I mean, maybe that's it, maybe it isn't. But then I started talking to a couple of my boys, a couple of former athletes, and they're like, man, you got to get out there, bro. It's a great workout. And, it's our cardio and stuff. And, I even have I have one friend that has a pickleball court in his backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try it out. Anybody out there that it's into pickleball, please invite me to come play with them. I would love to come try out the sport. I know here at Arizona Mills, they're building 104,000 square foot facility out there. Massive.
Yeah, I also saw one out in Chandler. They took out like a whole shopping center that used to be like a grocery store, converted it all into pickleball courts. So it's growing. I'm just wondering when's the World Pickleball Classic going to happen, and they're going to have is it going to become like a professional competitive sport like tennis or golf?
And then is Liv going to come buy it out?
Yes.
Well, I know they have team like they actually have teams that people buy pickleball teams and stuff like that. So I know it's professional on a level, but
Here's a real question. Nick, when are you going to start betting pickleball?
I already looked into it. I can bet ping pong, so like in Russian ping pong. So I'm not sure why I wouldn't be able to bet pickleball here shortly.
yeah, what?
DraftKings, get on it, baby.
Yes. Are you a DraftKings guy?
I like me some DraftKings. Shout out to DraftKings. Send me some free bets.
No, I'm more of a FanDuel.
Greedy Nick.
It's a little bit easier. FanDuel, you are always welcome to send me free bets, endorsements. If you need my code, please hit me up online. I will send you my code. FanDuel all the way, baby.
I'll tell everybody out there, if you want to take bets, I'll take your bets and I'll just keep your money. I mean, after you lose. Vegas and this whole system wasn't built on winners.
It wasn't built on winners. The house always wins.
Eventually, yes.
Okay.
All you have to do is just check your friend that always talks about all their wins. Where are their losses at? Just,
All I gotta say is any sport where like an 85-year-old guy could beat like a 25-year-old guy at it, it's probably not a sport that's too difficult. So
Okay. All right. I'm definitely going to check this sport out. But let's switch topics. What's his name? Matt Rife.
Matt Rife,
yeah.
Matt Rife. Yeah.
The hottest thing going, a comedian going on
planet Earth.
Yeah, right now.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, I've seen him on TikTok a couple of times and stuff like that.
Dude's funny.
Funny dude.
Used to be on Wild and Out. That's where he kind of got his start.
Right.
Yeah.
Very funny dude. You were telling me, Greedy. You were telling me about his shows.
Yeah, so he was gonna be at either the Improv or Stand Up Live, and he sold out like 7 or 8 shows in a row, back to back to back to back, and tickets were going for like $500 and $600 a piece to go in to see him on the secondary market. And then out of the blue, he just announced like a world tour, and it's starting like in a couple months and going all the way through next year. I actually jumped online today because tickets went on sale for pre-sale, and so originally it was going to be one show and here in Arizona, and I jumped in it and tried to get tickets, and it sold out in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The show was empty. There was like no good seats left. So then I look back and it's like another show added. So then they added a 10 p.m. show for that Friday. So I tried to buy tickets on that. Same thing, sold out super quick. Then I flipped back, and then I see they added 2 shows for Saturday. So I jumped on. And I ended up getting some tickets for Saturday, some really good tickets for Saturday. But then those all cleared on. That was empty. And then I saw that they just added a show for Sunday as well in a theater that, you know, people like Dave Chappelle and Martin Lawrence and these comedians have played, and they'll do 1, maybe 2 shows, and he's doing 5 shows, you know, 3 days back to back to back, you know, crazy. And he's just blown up. He's got like over 10 million TikTok followers. And just every single video that he puts up gets like 2-3 million views.
Going stupid.
Just stupid. And it's just like out of the blue, the last like probably I'd say 6 months to a year, he's gone from like, you know, somewhat popular to just exploded to probably the hottest comic.
Cult following.
Yeah, hottest comic in comedy right now. I would say.
Without a doubt, agreed. I remember when I told you like 6 months ago, I'm like, hey, check out this concert. The dude's tickets are going $500-$600, like you said. And the crazy thing about it is, I think it's cool as shit. Now, it could be marketing, but it's great marketing. He actually spoke on it about a month ago and said, hey, guys, he made an announcement like he was passing on his channels. And he's like, I'm hearing these crazy prices. Do not trust these resellers. They might not even be the real people with the tickets. He goes, do not pay $500, $300 for my tickets. Pay face value. He goes, I promise you guys, it may take a while. Just wait, be patient, but I'll do more shows. He goes, I want people to have my tickets at face value. I don't want you spending these outrageous prices that, you know.
Well, I will tell you, the tickets went on sale today.
Yeah.
Like the first 20 rows, $250 to $200 a ticket. So he's definitely getting his money now. Definitely get, and you know, to sell out 5 shows with the tickets at that price, and we're talking, you know, the theater here, I think it holds like 5,000 to 7,000. So you're talking, you know.
But that's the first
5 shows, yeah.
And then what's the other prices on the other tickets like?
The cheapest seats were like 65 plus fees, so you're going to pay about 90, and then
So is that up in the nosebleeds?
yeah, the second and third level, even some of the first couple rows in the second level, which they call the club level, those were like 150 to 180 a ticket. So so he's definitely getting it. I mean,
So when's the show here, Nick?
the show, believe it or not, is not till next May.
Next year.
Next May. Oh,
He's got
wow.
shows basically like
So he's
through the rest of the year.
So he's booked out through next.
Yeah, and he's doing like he's doing the same thing. Like these shows are selling out, so he's doing 3 and 4 days in a row of shows in one city, and then going on to the next city for the next weekend and doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows. And I mean, he's just gonna. It's just crazy how much, you know, money is coming in for him, and how much popularity, you know, people are wanting to see him.
Well, I love this because every generation has their comedian. You know, I think far as for all of us, we were lucky to go from seeing. I mean, this is when, you know, I guess he was drugging people back then, but you know, we were able to see Bill Cosby back there. You know, Eddie Murphy. I mean, even before that,
Richard
we had Richard Pryor. Before that, you know, we were able to see Eddie Murphy.
I mean, you can even see if you saw reruns or whatever else, or old school TV. What's it called? Red Fox.
Red Fox and stuff like that. I mean, if you ever want to check out like a great comedy movie, is Harlem Nights. The amount of comedians that were in probably in that was.
It's a slept-on classic.
Oh my gosh! I mean, and how good that movie was with the amount of comedians, it was phenomenal. But just go from there to, you know, Chris Rock, from David Chappelle all the way up to you know, now you got, you know, Kevin Hart, something like. I think we were fortunate to see a generation of great comedians. But going back to what I was saying before, is every generation has that comedian, and maybe this kid is the next generation. You know,
Definitely could be. So, big question: who are your top comedian? Who are your top 3 comedians?
yeah.
If you had to rank them.
If I had to rank them, I had one, but then I just thought about a different. Gosh,
It's tough.
it's tough.
I got one. I got my one. You guys go, but I got my one for sure.
Okay, it would probably be in no particular order. It would probably be Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, probably Bernie Mac. I was going to go with Kevin Hart, but probably Bernie Mac.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I love Kevin Hart. That dude is funny as hell. I mean, especially his first and second, like, but definitely Bernie Mac. That dude had me. If you watching the Kings of Comedy, Oh my gosh, that dude murdered. That's why he was last.
By the way, that was one of the greatest comedy movies of all
And
time.
if you haven't
Kings of
watched Kings of Comedy, you need to go back there and watch it. That
I remember seeing that in the theater, and people were falling out of their
I
seats,
literally
laughing so hard,
I fell on my seat.
on the floor.
I was crying. I missed.
I walked out of the theater, and my stomach hurt so bad. I felt like I did sit-ups for like 12 hours from just clenching and laughing so hard.
I literally fell out of my seat.
Yeah.
I literally fell out of my seat.
I saw people do it in my theater too.
Yeah,
So
I literally was crying, like just crying. I missed half of Bernie Mac's stick because it was so funny. And every time I go back, it's like every time I go back and watch that movie, it's like watching it for the first time. It is so good.
yeah, and you always pick up a little something that you didn't catch the last time you saw it. So
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Mitch?
For top threes, I'm gonna go, and I gotta go Eddie Murphy. I gotta go Eddie Murphy. I gotta go Chris Rock, and I gotta go Dave Chappelle.
gotcha.
I saw Dave Chappelle probably 6 months ago when he was here. He was here with Chris Rock. Him and him did a show.
Yep.
Phenomenal, bro. It was phenomenal. That show was so good. And you talk about crying. They both had me just dying laughing. Then they did Netflix. It wasn't. They didn't film it in Phoenix, but they did film that. And if you want to go back and check that, if you haven't seen it on Netflix, go back and check it out. It was, oh man, it was incredible.
Let me also add though too, in these comedian lists, one, I like the fact the comedians, for example, Eddie's going to be my top one because that was probably the most impressionable, for me. But two,
Delirious.
yeah, Delirious and Raw,
Yeah.
and then and what's it called? But we also got it in the '80s where they held no punches, and because of that, it was so just the pun intended, raw.
Right.
It was raw. So whether you were an Eddie Murphy guy or let's say you were an Andrew Dice Clay guy,
Right.
That told you what the '80s was about.
Oh wow!
It was-
Andrew Dice Clay was.
Yeah.
If people haven't seen Andrew Dice Clay, they need to go back and watch it. That dude
Yeah.
was hilarious because he was so raw.
Exactly, and
You
that's
know who else was raw like that I loved back then?
Who's that?
Sam Kinison.
He was,
Remember him?
yep.
He was kind of like that rocker dude. That
Yeah, he just would like start screaming and go crazy. Yeah, rest in peace.
And but that was the '80s. You couldn't be a participation trophy kid, and
Right.
and not you had to have tough skin.
So you would like this comparison. So David Chappelle,
Mm-hmm.
you name as in your top 3.
Mhm.
So he got beat up because he got beat up because he did some not anti-gay jokes, but he did some gay jokes that didn't go over well, stuff like that. But then Eddie Murphy back in the '80s, and Raw,
Yeah.
as a good joke, and it was fine.
Yeah.
So I guess it just shows where we are in the world.
Climate. You
Yeah,
can't.
definitely.
Comedians can't be comedians anymore, which sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Like here's the thing. So you can make fun of a special needs person with their actions, like wiping the mouth or whatever, and that's funny if you get the action right. But if you say a word, you know what I mean?
but even now, like if you make fun of them, they'll they'll get on you for that. The woke culture will get mad, and it's like you can't even tell a joke. Like stereotype. Everybody's been joking about stereotypes for as long as comedy's been around, but now that's seen as taboo, and you're not supposed to do it, and it's just I don't know. I think comedy has it's taken a hit with the woke culture because I feel, and if you go to comedy,
I hate that word.
I know, but it is what it is. I mean, you go to comedy shows now and they make you lock your cell phone in a bag because they don't want people recording the show, putting it online, and then being like, "Can you believe what he said during his show?"
Or pirating it.
Or yeah, but it's more about they don't want the stuff that they say getting out and having a visual record of it where people can go back and be like, I can't believe he said this. We're going to boycott his shows because he's talking about
We're soft.
gays or he's talking about this or he's talking about that.
America right now is softer than tissue paper.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like
I call it the pussification of America. It's in everything. It's in sports. It's in comedy. It's in
I
everything.
say, what's
Everyday
what's
life.
favorite word? Bitch. If the shoe fits.
no, for sure. And I mean, I get frustrated seeing it, and then people come out and oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't think that. Come on, man. Grow something. Grow up there. You know what I'm saying?
Or cut them off, right? I mean, I guess that's the era we're in.
Yeah, stop being so damn sensitive. That's your problem. Everything I gotta be politically correct. Everything I fucking say. No, come on, man.
It's really about if if it's truly you're just joking around and having a good time and making people laugh, and even if the people that you're, you know, stereotyping or whatever are laughing with you,
Right.
I mean,
If it's malicious, is one thing.
yeah,
I'm calling,
you have goodness in your heart.
calling bullshit on all this. I'm calling bullshit on all of it because we live in a world that will literally sit there and steal every single ounce of whatever you have, your land, your air, water. If they could tax, they're going to eventually, tax us for water, they're going to eventually tax us for air. Maybe we won't be here, hopefully, but that's the world we live in. And instead, they want us to focus on these words with each other because that divides us. But in the same token, the powers that be take every single thing, steal, rob, whatever. They make us pay all the taxes and have write-offs for everybody else, then change the game when the internet comes out. It's because people are starting to catch up.
But I think being so sensitive divides us. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, exactly. So they keep pushing that, though. They keep pushing those agendas of how sensitive. You keep seeing it on TV. You keep seeing it here. Because where do we hear about it? We hear about it on. Obviously we hear about it on social media, but we hear about it in the news. We hear about it in programming. We keep getting programmed that this is what's going on, and then we react to it because we get fed up, and then it creates this divide. And the whole time, the powers that be rob, cheat, steal, and everything else. They've been putting crap in our foods. They've been doing all this other stuff, but we focus on the kind words. We don't even, and nobody, even the people that feel that they didn't like that word, they're more mad at the person about a word that they don't even know than the person that's actually deliberately putting shitty ass, food and not even calling what it is, in their meals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's look at the okey doke and the Trojan horses. But that's what this is for. In my opinion.
No, I got you. So we gotta.
Well, I want to throw out my top three.
Oh yeah, I almost
got
forgot.
to do yours?
Oh, I almost forgot about you, Grady.
So mine, a lot of the guys you guys talked about, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, obviously classics, but the three that I picked were just people that, throughout my life really affected. The first one is Martin Lawrence.
Okay.
So he had 2 CD specials when I was growing up as a kid. I used to listen to those things. We'd go on road trips with my family. I'd pop the CDs in and we would just laugh for, the 5-hour road trip to San Diego seemed like it took 30 minutes because 2.5 hours of it, you're just listening to Martin Lawrence comedy CDs. And we used to, reuse all the jokes and the lines that he used and quote him all the time. So he's one of my guys. Dave Chappelle's my second. Just Chappelle Show was next level TV, next level comedy. It was kind of like In Living Color on steroids, which In Living Color back when I was a young kid, that was some of the funniest shit, some of the funniest.
You had
that.
Think about who came out of Living Color.
Oh, yeah.
People don't realize you had all the Wayne brothers.
Yep.
All of them, all 20 of them.
You had Jim Carrey.
Yep.
You
David
had
Allen Greer.
Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson.
Jamie Foxx.
Yep.
J-Lo.
And J-Lo.
Yeah, J-Lo.
She was one of the fly girls.
And the blonde fly girl, even though nobody knows her name. I was a big fan back then.
But I'm saying the amount of stars that came out of that show was
And their guest appearances. Shit, they had Tupac on that show.
Yeah, was incredible. But like going back to the David Chappelle show, man, that I would watch that. It come on Comedy Central, and I watch that all the time.
Just like when he did the race draft.
Yeah.
It was class. Some of the stuff he pushed the boundaries of
The Wayne
TV
Brady
and Wayne Brady.
Kill a bitch.
Yes, he pushed the boundaries. So that's why he's on my top three.
Prince, Charlie Murphy, and then who's your third though?
And my third, probably a lesser known comedian, Mitch Hedberg.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yes,
Mitch Hedberg.
He over OD'd.
Okay.
I will say this: a lot of the comedians that I grew up liking, I was a big John Candy fan. Rest in peace, John Candy. Like I said, Sam Kinison, he died. Mitch Hedberg.
Did you like what's his name? George Carlson.
George Carlin, he was great.
George Carlin.
He lived a long life, at least, but he passed away later in life.
He gamed people up on stuff.
I will tell you also the comedian. Got to think of his name now.
The Boston dude, Bill.
The old guy. He just passed away a couple years ago. He had me up on stage with him one time. God, I can't think of his name now. He was in Casino. I'm going to look him up real quick. But he was another comedian that pushed the limits. He used to be, borderline racist. Don Rickles. So back in the day. And if you go back to old school comedian, you had like the whole Rat Pack era with all those guys.
Right.
And the roasts that they used to do were pretty crazy. But back to Mitch Hedberg. He was a real super dry comic. He wasn't around a long time. He has 2 CDs that I used to just play in my car all the time. Just really dry, like observational humor, I would say. One of his jokes is like, "This shirt is dry clean only, which means it's dirty." just all kinds of, he's like, I saw Wino eating grapes once. I was like, dude, you got to wait. Just one-liner observational comedy. And
I wonder how he made money.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, so here's the crazy part. So he came into town and I really wanted to go to the show and something was going on and my friend was going to go and they backed out. I couldn't find anybody to go. And at the time, I was a little younger. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go by myself. I'll just catch him next time he's in town. 2 weeks later, he OD'd and died. And I heard that the show and the Phoenix show, he was like just wasted on stage.
Oh, wow.
And like people couldn't even understand half the show. So I don't know if I really wanted to see him in that way. So in some ways, I'm sad I missed it because it was my one opportunity. But other ways, I like to see him as like the comedian that I see on the show, or the little short clips and things, and the CDs that I've listened to of his. So yeah, he's definitely in my list. But so many great comedians, so many funny people in this world. I think the laughter is an important part of life and everyday living. You got to be able to enjoy and laugh. And so one way I like to laugh is obviously watching a good comedy on TV. So I'm going to ask you guys, what are some of your favorite comedy movies of all time? I know that's another tough question, but
Right, yeah. If we're gonna do movies. I mean, I won't bring in like comedy, especially like we were talking about Raw, stuff like that, and Kings of Comedy. Even those are movies, but I won't bring those into it. But Friday would probably be number one for me. Beverly Hills Cop, number one. But,
I love all three of those movies.
one was
Yeah.
you can't put no banana in my tailpipe.
Not gonna fall from banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah. And then a movie that I recently watched that we're talking about politically incorrect. That was just go back. It was filmed in 2012. It was what Mark Wahlberg, Ted,
I know that was funny as shit.
and I cried the other night. It was so funny because you couldn't do a movie like that in this day and age right now because they would damn near boycott the movie. But it had so many politically incorrect things, but it made it so funny because you just go back and watch it. If you haven't seen Ted, go back and watch that movie because it was hilarious. No,
Yep. I agree with you on that. That's funny shit, especially the shit that the teddy bear says.
the teddy bear says was wow,
It
bro.
just blows my mind.
Yeah.
All right, so mine, I have to split mine into two categories.
Okay.
Can't quite figure out how I did it, but maybe you guys can figure out the categories.
Okay.
For me, I got one category is gonna be Coming to America.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Friday,
Okay.
and then if I had to do a third, and I know you said you weren't doing the comedy sets, and I could do so many Raw, whatever else, but I did see Kings of Comedy in the theater,
Right.
and that just had me
Oh,
dying.
yeah.
Like I literally fell out of my seat. So I'm gonna put Kings of Comedy. Now my other category is gonna be Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Okay.
which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Period. And it's more love comedy, high school comedy, whatever else. But it just had me dying. Obviously, for me, and I know this is gonna get this dude all riled up, but Hangover. Only dude in the whole fucking galaxy doesn't like Hangover. And then the third one, just the times and everything else, American Pie.
Yeah.
American Pie was
good
funny,
back in
man.
the day.
That was so funny.
Another good teen one when you're growing up when you're that.
Yeah, because
that age.
it made you just think about you growing up.
Hey Nick, you ever fuck a pie?
I haven't. Actually, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
I thought you said you never seen it. I was like, what?
No, that movie in so long. But if I have to put my three out there, my top movie of all time is Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
So the original, I mean, I can still watch that, and I just laugh my ass off in that movie. Second one,
He relates to him, man.
when this movie comes on, it doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes left in the movie or just started or anywhere in between. I watch it no matter what. Wedding Crashers.
Oh shit! You know what?
Probably one of the greatest. I use so many lines from that movie.
Yeah. That is.
You motorboating son of a bitch, you old sailor. Just so many lines.
You know what? You are right about that.
Was it the soft mattress? Just so
The play back and forth for those two.
Oh, yes.
And you know what? I gotta agree with you on that. That is, I mean, that's someplace on the top list too.
Yep. And my third one, it's really a tie between three movies: Step Brothers, Super Bad, and then Friday, which I love.
Super bad. Oh,
Super Bad's
yeah.
another classic.
Well, that's because we got McLovin in there, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to give you 2 sneaks that you guys may have not seen that you really should see. One, The Heartbreak Kid.
I saw that one. That was dope
Okay.
as hell.
That movie is fun. I'm guessing
You bring
most probably never seen it.
Hey, you bring your A game, Sasquatch.
And then the other
White
one
chocolate.
is My Best Friend's Girl.
Yeah, I've seen them both, and they're
Yes.
both
They're both classics.
both amazing movies.
But
They're both
you may have not seen it.
Stiller films.
Yeah, Ben Stiller, yes.
You've never seen Long Came Polly?
I've seen Along Came Polly.
Is that what you said?
No, I said My Best Friend's Girl, which is, I think it's Ryan Reynolds or Dane Cook, one of those.
Oh,
I think it's
gotcha. I
Dane
thought
Cook.
you said Long Came Polly.
No.
Oh, that's my bad.
Long Came Polly is dope too, though.
I think Long Came.
Ben Stiller, but
When you said that,
no, I said Heartbreak Kid because you're thinking Ben Stiller, and that's classic.
Well,
And
then I gotta add. Then I gotta add Along Came Polly.
Yes.
because I think that is one of the funniest movies. Now that
you scuba?
hey,
Oh, my
what about when the dude, the kid, the child star? Oh, remember that's where the word I think I just sharted. That came out for the first time.
Oh my
People
God.
were like, what? And then the last thing I'll say is that same adult guy that was, just he was living off of his child star fame or whatever. He does this like school play or whatever, and then this other Asian kid's there, and he's saying his lines. He goes, "You're not Jesus. I'm Jesus. You're Judas." He's all, I had a feeling and I went with it. What are you gonna say, kid? Like that shit was. Oh man.
Oh wow.
So those 2 movies, if you haven't seen Heartbreak Kid, go out and see it. It's classic.
And see Along Came Polly.
And see Along Came Polly and see My Best Friend's Girl. All 3 of those movies are just classic.
All right.
Definitely ones you probably haven't seen. So I figured I'd throw a
Shit,
couple.
I almost had to. Along Came Polly. I might have to change my list up a little bit. That shit was on. That shit
And then when he does the speech, when he goes in for Ben Stiller in his meeting.
Y'all are wild.
that dude actually died too, unfortunately.
Yeah, he did. That was, what's his name? He OD'd too. I can't remember his name now.
Nope.
But yeah, a lot of the great comedic actors die. I also want to say another one that's I would say an actor more than a comedian, but he was a comedian at that time too. Robin Williams, man.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Oh my God, just the facial expressions and the things he could do and the jokes, and I mean, probably honorable mention in my comedy movies, Mrs. Doubtfire was just a classic movie when I was
Drive-by fruiting.
yeah.
Y'all are wild. All right, so we got weekends coming up here, approaching us. Mitch, tell me a meal that you've had or that you haven't had that you're looking forward
Talking
to.
about haven't had.
Yeah, haven't
I
had.
think we have to do this new section. Sometimes it's have and had.
Yeah.
Either what we've had or what we're gonna have or what we had. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So had as far as meals. Last Saturday, me and little bro Ryan, with guest list, we met up for dinner. He hit me up real quick. And he was like, "Man, you had dinner yet?" We always try and link up, at least, talk business, chop it up, just talk, just kind of see where everything is at, life catch up on everything. And so, yeah, he's like, "Man, I'd like to go to a good Italian spot," and he goes, "Someplace between where you're at and I'm at," which if people know the East Valley, there really aren't too many good, back me up if I'm wrong, or whatever, but, or, let me know if I'm wrong, but back me up. But in the East Valley, we're talking, before Scottsdale, Tempe, there's not really too many good Italian spots. There's maybe a handful, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, man, there's a spot in North Mesa off of Recker and Brown called Alessia's, and it's actually northern Italy. Mom and Pop's place, really, really good. Rated like a 4.6, but definitely I put it up there, right up there with Uncle Sal's, maybe even a little better. I mean, that's tough words,
Yeah.
But like it's right there. But I actually think there's a couple things they might do a little better, And so yeah, so I had the chicken parm over there, amazing. Obviously their bread with their French bread with the oil and vinegar, always real nice touch. And then I had the tiramisu for dessert. Ryan had the cannoli, so it was a good meal. So that was that was amazing. And as far as what I'm gonna have. I think I want some Greek Mediterranean food, so I'm gonna probably hit up before the weekend Cafe Mix at another spot in actually North Mesa. What's it on like McKellips and Greenway by the Walmart Super Plaza? But it's a cool spot. They actually own 3 restaurants, so the dudes can get down because they own Cafe Mix, they own another Cafe Mix, and they own Mickey D's and AJ, which is an amazing breakfast spot that people line up for.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna get the 4 meat platter, so it's gonna be like chicken shawarma, it's gonna be your gyro meat, it's gonna be your chicken kebab and your steak kebab on rice with hummus.
Gotta go check that place out. I love Greek foods.
That whole plate with a side salad is $16.99. Yeah,
Okay.
great deal and great, amazing food.
There you go. Grady, what you got?
So the place I had, kind of off of what Mitch was saying, there's a place out by my work. It's called Lebanese Palace.
Ooh, that place is really
And
good
they
too.
do, it's Mediterranean. They do the different chicken shawarma,
They do a steak shawarma.
steak shawarma. They do a filet
Yeah.
skewer,
Yep.
filet kebab. I went there with actually Brad, and we had lunch there. My boy Brad that I work with, and he got the filet kebabs. He's like, I'm gonna treat myself. But even like the filet kebabs, which is like 2 skewers of filet with rice and a salad and hummus, a full plate is only like $19. So it's not a bad deal. And then I got the chicken shawarma, and it comes with the rice and the hummus, and all of it is good. And then what I'm looking forward to is actually my favorite Greek place, which is in Tucson. It's called Urban Pita. I'm gonna possibly be going down there later this week or next week for work, and anytime I'm in there, I eat there. When I was working in Tucson for like 8 months, I eat there some days twice a day because it's that good,
Go to Bob's instead.
and I love it there. So that's probably my favorite Mediterranean spot in Arizona is Urban Pita. It's delicious. Their grilled chicken pita, they do it with this garlic sauce. And the other cool thing is the place is open on the weekends till like 4 a.m. and even on like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. on the weekdays. So we used to go out to the club, like downtown Tucson, hit some clubs and bars, drink, and then come out at 2 a.m. and walk right into the place and order, a gyro with grilled chicken and the garlic sauce and just eat them. Just amazing food. That's what I'm looking forward to.
There you go. There you go. Mine is not any restaurants. Mine are home cooked meals. I've been fortunate to get a couple here lately. Normally I eat out. Being a single dude, you eat
Yeah, I
out.
could read your shirt, bro. Pause.
I eat out a lot, but fortunately, like I said, I got some home cooked meals. I just had some chicken enchiladas that were amazing, and
Better than the enchilada, Taco Bell.
Back, baby. Limited time.
I'm going to talk about, but if you say so. But no, these chicken enchiladas was off the charts. Made perfectly.
Who made them, by the way?
Was it made with love?
What? Why y'all have been grown?
Or was it made with love? Or was it made with
I
lust?
just wondered if you made them or if someone else.
No, I didn't make it. Of course, I hardly cook. I cook for myself or something like that. But y'all have been grown folks.
Was it made?
I didn't know.
We want to know was it made with love or made with lust?
It's crazy.
I don't know. I saw that apron in your room. I thought maybe you've been cooking all of a sudden.
Hey,
Hey, Nick had flashbacks to the scene in Baby Boy. He wish he woke up to some pancakes.
I can't tell you what's going on up at the crib. But
Hercules.
but what I'm looking forward to is going up to my mama's house and get some good ass fried chicken. She probably cooks the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life.
I will just say, actually, your dad, rest in peace, he cooked the best fried chicken
Yeah,
I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
You got down.
Yeah,
The best.
Rest in peace.
Actually, I think it was the barbecue chicken that he made.
Right.
Was the best chicken I've ever tasted in my life. Fall off the bone, delicious.
Doesn't your mom also kill like the mac and cheese too?
Yeah,
The ham and everything?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she throws his ham in there, and sometimes she.
Hey, where we going?
Why don't we invite her over to be on the podcast one day so we can learn about pawn?
We could take the podcast up there. I'll bring a bottle of Cooks.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, can I tell the story real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
Okay, so Paul's mom, she loves her champagne, right? And so I heard she likes her champagne, and I happened to acquire a very, few nice bottles of champagne. So when I think it was Mother's Day or something, but so I come down and I popped out a bottle of Krug Rosé. And I'm a big Krug Rosé fan, right? And Krug Rosé, not that it matters, but let's just paint the picture for what it is. Krug Rosé at the time, like if you go check it, it's like $399 a bottle.
Right.
Don't ask me what I pay for it, but
It's like a truck, I think.
but yeah. So so we got that for her for Mother's Day. She says, "Okay, I'm gonna check this out, honey. Whatever." She's trying it. It's not bad, but you know what? She goes, "I so appreciate the gesture." But she goes, "I like my Cooks better. My Cooks is $7.99 or whatever." I was like, "That's awesome, man. Love your mom. Love your mom."
Yeah. Shout out, Mom. I'll see you here, and I'll see you here real soon.
Yeah, we'll see you here real soon.
I'm bringing
Or Paul better be bringing back some leftovers.
bringing the boys too, but
Or I might burn this bitch down when you're out of town. I ain't getting no food.
But now, come to the end of the show. We're gonna do thought of the day. You know what? Let's see what Mitch got Or thought
My thought is going to be, I'm going to keep it real simple, but with what's going on with the Undisputed show, I don't know people, this show on Fox Network, it's Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Skip did bring Shannon on the show, when he left First Take. Skip, in all fairness, is also known for the person that really gave Stephen A. his shot when he was blackballed by ESPN.
Right.
So Stephen A. will always be, rightfully so, grateful to Skip, because now look where Stephen A. Smith is for those of you that follow sports and the Embrace Debate talk shows and stuff.
Right.
But Skip ended up leaving, First Take years back, and picked Shannon Sharp as his partner. The show over the years has built a cult following. Shannon Sharp has become his own entity. I mean, definitely. If I tune in the show, I don't even tune into shows like that anymore, because I just am so tired of unresponsible agenda. Like even here, we say something, and if you can prove we are false on it, hey, I'll be the first to go, oh, I am wrong. That doesn't happen in those shows. The ego is too much, the paychecks are too much, and it's more just sensationalism. It's like talk to never really find an end. It's just talk to talk, and it's barbershop banter to the fullest. You know what I mean? You're not going to convince somebody else of what a position. It doesn't matter about the facts or not in this day and age, in my opinion. But with that said, Shannon's getting a lot of shine. You can start seeing the rumbling between the two. I don't know if Skip's kind of losing touch. I kind of feel he is a little. He's always, in my opinion, been a crybaby. I know he's always kind of gone on the Jim Rome stick, and I know they had a show together, Cold Pizza, but he always kind of would, be the guy that go, okay, who's the top guys in the game? I'm going to go ahead and hate on them. You know what I mean? And when I say hate on them, I know I take my shots at certain people too, but I give my credit, and and I call it, kind of how I see it, but also how it is. I'm not going to deny somebody's talent level. I'm not going to deny somebody's great. I'm not going to say they didn't do what they did, and I'm not going to minimize why they did it. Most of the time, it's like Skip does that on everybody. I first started noticing with Terrell Owens. I mean, and he really got on Terrell. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. I remember Terrell Owens. I know he did it with Terrell Suggs. I know he's done it with, he's done it with lesser players. I mean, Kwame Brown, he's the dog Kwame Brown, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he's dogged. In fact, Jalen Rose got on the show when he was on First Take, and when debated him, and started calling him out on his resume. How can you talk about basketball players that have been drafted first, and you scored 1 point a game on JV, your junior year? First of all, who plays JV their junior year? I mean, if you're really any good at anything. And so he called him, I think, Water Pistol Pete Jr. And I think for a while, while Skip was on the show, he's never been back on that show. Jalen went on to, succeed regardless of that. But again, it's like funny. It's like Skip's like the old ways bully that can't seem to take the bullying, when he gets it bullied. Like, so he's crying about Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley, I guess for a while has been saying, a lot of stuff about Skip, which I applaud Charles for it, because he's kind of balancing it out, what Skip does to other people. And now all of a sudden Skip just went on a rant, because it seems like his whole world's falling apart. Shannon's going to leave. Shannon's announcing he's leaving the show. And, and over some, in my opinion, Skip's been getting disrespectful. Like Shannon and him got in that argument over Tom Brady. And, and then all Skip would do is go, well, you're not better than him. You stopped playing at 35. He's playing at 44. So what are you talking about? And he goes, Skip, I won, three Super Bowls. Doesn't matter. He won 7. I'm an all pro player. Doesn't matter. You're not as good as him. It's like, it just was like the biggest baby attack, to me. And, part of me wonders if he's jealous of Shannon. Shannon, if you look at their own podcast that they do separately, and I know we can't really talk right now. We're building our podcast up, but we can still say what we see. What's Bill Gates' favorite book? How to lie with statistics. But no. So the real stats though are Shannon Sharp's show. First of all, Skip Bayless' show, who's been in the industry way long, who put this guy on, who helped put Stephen A. back on to his pedestal. He gets about 100,000 subscribers right now on his podcast. Shannon Sharp has over 1 million. I mean, and so it's like Shannon probably sees the writing on the wall. I don't need to be treated like this. I don't need to be disrespected every time. I'm appreciative. Probably, I'm not speaking for him, but I'm thinking from what I see, I appreciate it for the platform and the pedestal, but I don't have to take the bullshit anymore. I've got my own, I've created my own lane, and I'm going to take it. And he's got a lot of offers, including Stephen A. Smith offering him to come over to First Take. Where he, so it's going to be interesting to see. But at the end of the day, my whole point on this rant was, it's interesting to see when you bully, when you're a bully in this game to whatever level, be prepared to get bullied. And definitely don't cry about it when you do, because that's what Skip went on a little rant about Charles Barkley bullying him, and how Charles Barkley said he's going to kill me and my wife and her mom, or like, why aren't people doing anything, stuff. And it's like, hold on, so Charles Barkley's really going to kill you? Then file a report with the police and shut the fuck up. That's my 2 cents.
There you go. Grady, what you got?
So my thought of the day is just to, You know, there's so many people that are great out there in all kinds of venues, whether it's athletes or comedians, like we talked about, or musicians. And when there's greatness out there, just remember to appreciate it while they're still here, because nothing lasts forever. So if and appreciate the great, and you don't have to hate if the great that is now isn't the one that you like. Just appreciate who's out there and who's great, and enjoy it, and get out there. And if there's a concert of somebody you want to see, go see it while you still have the opportunity. So
There you go.
what I want to say, appreciate the greats.
Man, on that one. My last one is just talking about failure. Don't be afraid to fail. If you go back and look at Abraham Lincoln, he fell 5 or 6 times before becoming president.
I think even Joe Biden fell, or you said fail.
I mean, you look at Joe Biden. I mean, how many times did he run for president before he became president? But what I'm saying is, do not be afraid to take risks. If what did Jordan say? 100% of the shots not taken, 100% of the shots missed.
Yep.
So don't be afraid. Just go out there. I understand that we all have fear, but sometimes you have to put that fear aside. To achieve greatness, you have to risk fear, and you have to risk failure.
Can I jump on that real quick too, though? Not to interrupt your thoughts, sorry. But one of the things I always was, when you ask yourself stuff, you look in the mirror, or even in sales too. I hate to be that way, but it's like, okay, what's the best thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen?
Mm-hmm.
And ask yourself, what's more important to you?
Exactly.
I mean, look at us here. We
Right.
took this shot, and I mean, we've got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that I've had so many people hit me up and go, you know what, Mitch, you guys encourage me to do something,
Right.
to ask questions. Man, I'm so proud of you guys. Like this shows, it looks real polished, and you guys just started. How the hell did you do this? Whatever. And I know, like I said, we got a long way to go. We're not perfect. We haven't even got our website up yet. We're gonna, but we're gonna be organic. Like I said, our goal is to have you grow with us, and hopefully we get inspired. But sorry, go ahead.
No, exactly. And I just want to encourage people. If you're on the fence about a decision or stuff like that, just take the risk. Just take it. Make it sure it's a calculated risk, but just take the risk, because the worst thing you can do is you be in the same spot that you're in right now. But if you don't take the risk, you'll never know what happens. So, hey, take the shot. But we'll see you next week. Get out, baby.
Thank you. You bet you.